Which is the most worthwhile attraction to visit in Chongqing? Speaking from my personal preference alone, the answer to this question is not Hongyedong, nor is it Kuising Tower or Liberation Monument. It is not that these places aren't fun, but because Chongqing has the Dazu Rock Carvings. Chongqing's only UNESCO World Heritage site, first carved in the early Tang Dynasty, flourishing during the Song dynasties. IT encompasses 141 rock carving sites, a grand artistic complex of nearly 50,000 statues. Perhaps due to its slightly later carving period, the fame of the Dazu Rock Carvings, compared to Longmen Yonggang and Mogao Caves, seems to always be somewhat lesser. But thanks to more mature techniques during its creation, the Dazu Rock Carvings possess what is arguably the most magnificent and spectacular forms in ancient rock art, the richest and most vivid themes, hailed as the pinnacle masterpiece, epitomizing the essence of Chinese rock carving art. Thanks to the explosive popularity of black myth Wukong, this long overlooked hidden gem as a filming location recently has finally returned to the public eye. And with its unique, exquisite, and impactful rock carvings, deeply amazed every viewer. So, dear viewers, long time no see. This is Normanding. In this episode, what we bring to you is a travel guide for visiting the Dazu Rock Carvings in Chongqing. So welcome to Solo Travel. As per the show's usual practice, we'll still start with the travel and transportation guide first. If you want to go straight to the rock carving explanations, you can skip to this timestamp. The Dazu Rock Carvings are located in Dazu District, Chongqing. First, one thing that must be clarified is the so-called Dazu Rock Carvings is not a single scenic area, but rather a large collection of rock carvings that includes Baodingshan, Bishan, Nanshan, Ximenshan, and many other independent scenic areas. Their respective construction eras and styles also vary. They are mostly separated by distances requiring a drive. So before coming to visit, be sure to first, based on your own time and interest, plan ahead and pick which carvings to see. It is generally agreed that the best of Dazu Rock carvings are at Baodingshan and Bishan. Prioritize Baodingshan over Bishan and other sites when planning your trip. That is the way to go. Like this time for me, the uploader, my schedule was crazy tight, so I only visited Baodingshan carvings. Why was my schedule so packed, you ask? Well, you have to ask those hard-to-reach carvings in Anu. We'll get back to that later. Also, with so many carvings, Dazu Rock Carvings tickets have tons of combo options. Better book early online. Speaking of which, gotta mention Dazu's official site. It is the coolest ancient site website I've ever seen, no joke. Don't even want to say one of. All ticket info and transport details are super comprehensive. Plus, full online VR tours for every carving. Absolutely awesome. Highly recommend checking it out. Getting to Baodingshan carvings from Chongqing, take Gaotie or bus. That is what they say. But better take the bus, because Dazu South Station, for tourists, is a total train station scum. You think you've arrived, but it is crazy far from Baodingshan. Like ridiculously far. Almost an hour by taxi. Dazu bus station is much closer. So here is the thing. Taking Gaotie might actually take longer than bus. Classic case of faster is slower. Also, when going to Baodingshan, where to tell the taxi to go? There is a little trick to it. If you follow the normal tour route at Baodingshan Scenic Area, the full visiting process, first, you need to take a taxi to the visitor center. After entering the scenic area, watch the digital film. Then take the shuttle bus up the mountain to visit the Dazu Museum. Finally, walk from the museum to the rock carving area and start the real tour. The reputation of this digital film and museum, according to online reviews, is really good. Especially this museum, built incredibly majestic. It can be considered an attraction itself. The day I went was even more amazing. There was really thick fog. Wow, that scene! Just see for yourself. Where on earth did I end up? Is this even the human world? No one told me Chongqing directly connects to the celestial realm.
Normanding, are you even awake?
But going through the full process like this, after all, the procedure is a bit too long. So if you're like the UP主要, really pressed for time, just want to hurry up and see the main attraction, then you can consider taking another route. Navigate to Baodingshan Police Station. There is a bus stop at this location. Once you arrive, walk up the mountain a few steps to reach Shangshou Temple. Then we won't tour here first. Just go straight through this gate. Then keep going forward to reach the Rock Carving Museum. Next, continue ahead and you can directly visit the rock carving scenic area. This way, besides getting straight to the point, you only need to buy the ticket for Dazu Rock Carvings itself, saving the money for the film and shuttle bus. Alright, so now, we officially start the tour of Baodingshan Rock Carvings. Baodingshan rock carvings were carved during the Southern Song Dynasty. It is a Buddhist esoteric school rock carving site. The so-called esoteric school is one of the Buddhist sects. Currently, the more famous ones mainly include Tibetan esoteric Buddhism and Eastern esoteric, represented by Japanese Shingon Buddhism. And in history, Han Chinese esoteric Buddhism, it was also at its peak in the period of Emperor Xuanzang of the Tang Dynasty. But as Tang Wuzong and Zhou Shizong destroyed the Buddha twice, gradually disappeared in the central plain, turned to the surrounding area. This includes the Sichuan Chongqing region. By Liu Benzong, a monk of the 5 dynasties and 10 nations, the secret sect of the yoga department of the Vajra, commonly known as Liu Jiao or Kawami. At one time, it had considerable influence in the Sichuan Chongqing region and the builders of the Dazu stone carvings. It is this Liu Benzong's most hardcore fan brother, Zhao Zheifeng, a monk of the Southern Song Dynasty. On its way to travel, he studied the law at the Holy Birthday Academy, founded by Liu Benzong. Deeply impressed by the teachings of Liu Benzong. Later, in order to spread the secret Buddha law widely, Zhao Zhifeng to raise funds, hire craftsmen. It took more than 0 years to build the Baoding Mountain stone carving. It can be said to have spent a lifetime. That is why I created this art. It is worth mentioning that the originally designed entrance of Baoding Mountain stone carvings is not where it is now, but this place on the map. There are 2 paths to the left and right. At present, the mainstream theory speculates the original design idea was to the right, all the way to the stone carving to explain the Buddhist theory and classics. A few stone carvings to the left explain the method and realm of practice. But after coming to modern times, for many factors such as safety and maintenance, at present, the original entrance of Dazu Rock Carvings has been closed. Cause in a long time before inside. Entrance to the scenic spot, all set at the end of the original tour route. From the point of view of pure appreciation of art, this is actually a little bad. It is equivalent to saying that the whole process is against the original design route visit. Lead to a scenic spot inside. I haven't walked a few steps yet. Let's get to the front of the hell map first. This is true. It is a little too opening lightning struck. And now, the entrance to the scenic spot. It has been adjusted to the other end of the round hole, although it leads to a little detour when visiting. But it also guarantees most of the stone carvings are visited in the correct order. What about us this time? Alright, let's follow this route to explore these exquisite artworks one by one. Entering the scenic area, the first thing we see is the Jade Emperor and Queen Mother Shrine. Next to it stands a Semyak Zen Buddha statue. After passing by, we continue forward and soon arrive at the first highlight of Baodingshan, the Yuanzhou Cave. This cave is 12 meters deep, 9 meters wide, and 6 meters high, making it one of the largest grottos in Baodingshan. At the cave entrance carved a majestic lion, looking mighty and awe-inspiring. In Buddhism, the lion holds profound significance. Legend says the Buddha's teachings roar like a lion, resounding across all directions, awakening all beings and driving away evil spirits. The well-known lion's roar kung fu originates from this. As for weather, there is a move called loudspeaker that remains unclear. Stepping inside the cave, straight ahead enshrined are the 3 bodies of the Buddha, namely Vairocana Buddha, Rokana Buddha, and Shakyamuni Buddha. Flanking both sides carved the 12 bodhisattvas of perfect enlightenment. These so-called 12 bodhisattvas are a common theme in esoteric Buddhism. Legend has it that 12 bodhisattvas, including Manjushri and Samantabhadra, took turns kneeling before the Buddha, seeking answers to perplexing questions in their practice. The Buddha responded to each inquiry. The compilation of these questions and answers formed the Sutra of Perfect Enlightenment. Hence, these 12 bodhisattvas who sought the Dharma became known as the 12 bodhisattvas of perfect enlightenment. Perfect enlightenment means complete awakening and fulfillment. And what depicted inside the Yuanzhou Cave is precisely this process of seeking the Dharma. In other words, what we're seeing now is a high-level academic summit hosted by the Buddha with bodhisattvas in attendance. Throughout the entire cave, the carving techniques of the Buddha statues are exceptionally exquisite. Each of the 12 bodhisattvas appears dignified and elegant, with graceful poise, their demeanor radiating extraordinary nobility. But after admiring for a while, something feels off. Just like in many mystery novels, where unexpected twists unfold, it is clearly the bodhisattva of 12 circumstances. But inside the round hole, the mysterious 13th bodhisattva appeared. 6 bodhisattvas have been listed around the cave, however, before the Buddha. But I don't know why I knelt down with a bodhisattva. What are you doing? I went to Buddhism. Graduate places are full. You can also fight for another one with your mentor.
Are you awake?
Well, of course not. This design is actually very clever. Considering the 12 round Buddha side 6, it is already symmetrical. If you rush one to the middle, Very easy to force obsessive compulsive disorder. So the designer is right in the middle, created such a person who is not, and who is the Bodhisattva. In the image of him alone, IT symbolizes the incarnation of 12 Bodhisattvas. This is to show the scene where the Bodhisattva asks the Buddha for advice on practice. And it is this incarnation of a Bodhisattva become the real king of the whole circle to see the whole. A skylight is provided above the cave door of Yuanjie Cave through meticulous and subtle design. A beam of sunlight from the skylight into the room. Impartiality, falling right on the back of the incarnated Bodhisattva, while making him the focus of the whole. Also, as if the Buddha that help people enlighten without the light of wisdom. Figurative, in front of everyone's eyes. What is this, friends? Isn't this a stage play? Good guy, I'll start with one. The hypothesis that designers are passers-by. Okay? Hey, what's wrong? I was wrong. However, light, it is not even inside the round hole, the only black technology used. If you are lucky enough to catch a visit to Dazu Rock Carvings on a rainy day, then it is very likely to be in the round hole. Hear the crisp sound of running water, but see the whole grotto. But I can't find any leaking place. The more I say it, the more it looks like a suspense novel. And this is actually an excellent drainage system in Yuanzhou Cave, the product of combining with art design. On the right stone wall of the Yuanzhou Cave, there is a carved divine dragon. Its dragon body actually serves as the drainage channel on the cave ceiling. Seeped rainwater flows from the dragon body to the dragon head and spouts out from its mouth. Below the dragon head, there is a carved elderly monk holding up an alms bowl. Water flows from the dragon mouth into the alms bowl, making a crisp sound. Then it flows down through the hollowed arm of the elderly monk, and finally drains out of the cave through the gutter under the floor. Through this exquisite design, IT ensures the cave in the rainy south can avoid erosion, while creating the spectacle of a divine dragon spouting water amidst mist, and with the sound of flowing water, enhances the atmosphere of the Buddhist paradise inside the cave. Truly a perfect blend of art and practicality. Among the many works of the Dazu Rock Carvings, Yuanjie Cave might not be the most stunning one, but it is undoubtedly the most design-savvy and the most ingeniously crafted one. Moving forward from Yuanzhou Cave, you'll find the Herding the Ox pictures. This is a very long set of works, stretching nearly 30 meters from start to end, with a total of 12 pictures created. In a comic strip-like format, it carves the story of a herder leading and taming an ox. Right, no Buddha, no Bodhisattva either. It's just herding oxen. And no immortal comes to enlighten the ox herder. It's just herding oxen. Considering that the Boldingshan rock carvings are Buddhist works with pursuits and ideological expressions, to specifically use such a large area to carve a story of people and oxen struggling is really hard to justify. Here, I first propose a hypothesis that the designer was a time traveler from the finance industry. Alright. Otherwise, there is no reason for such an obsession with oxen.
Are you out of your mind?
Of course not. Actually, this is a Zen-themed carving. The ox in the pictures symbolizes the restless mortal heart of humans, and the ox herder symbolizes the practitioner. The entire picture is a metaphor for the process of a practitioner, taming their mind and entering the path of meditation. But as mentioned earlier, due to our current position, we're still on the section of the tour that goes against the natural flow. So when you look at this comic strip, you'll need to glance back over it in reverse order. The first illustration is called Untamed. At this stage, the heart is like an unbroken young calf, wild and unrestrained. Even though the herdsman pulls tightly on the reins, he still can't pull back that hard yearning for freedom. By the second illustration, things have shifted slightly. This phase is called initial training. Under the herdsman's persistent pulling, the ox finally turns its head, albeit reluctantly. This symbolizes the restless heart beginning to settle down. In the final few illustrations, the ox gradually becomes tame under human guidance. From needing brute force to being led with just a gentle tug, to eventually not even requiring a rope at all. By the 10th panel, both the ox and the man are sound asleep, while a little monkey tugs at the man's robe, but he remains completely unaware. This shows that by this stage of practice, the mind has become utterly peaceful and serene. Any external temptations can no longer disturb the practitioner in the slightest. Thus, by the 11th illustration, the ox has vanished from sight, leaving only a meditating practitioner. At this moment, worldly desires have been extinguished and earthly attachments have been severed. But it is still not entirely complete. In the final illustration, both man and ox have disappeared without a trace, with only a bright moon hanging high in the sky. True self-forgetfulness and object forgetfulness have been achieved. In the center of this last image, A poem is inscribed. All is ended, yet nothing truly ends. Heart after heart. What more heart could there be? The heart's end finds no resting place. Perfectly impartial, shining through past and present. Man and ox both vanish without a trace. Moonlight chills. 10,000 forms dissolve into emptiness. If you ask the true meaning within, wildflowers and fragrant grasses grow in abundance. It is quite profound and full of zen, isn't it? Brilliant! Master, I've gained enlightenment! In short, the whole Herding the Ox series is a masterpiece that's simple yet deep, using easy-to-understand illustrations. It conveys the profound truths of spiritual practice. You could say it's an incredibly rare artistic treasure. And there's a clever little detail here. If you follow the correct visiting order, after viewing the Herding the Ox series, you arrive at the Yuanzhou Cave. It's speculated that what the designer wanted to express is that through continuous self-cultivation and practice, one day you will attain the great wisdom of awakening and fulfillment. After passing the Herding the Ox series, you reach what was originally the main entrance to the Dazu Rock Carvings. From here on is the proper sequence of the tour. So the first thing that catches your eye is naturally something you'll find in all Buddhist architecture. The Shrine of the Guardian Deities. The first guardian, this big tiger. It's carved in the posture of a fierce tiger descending from the mountain, looking absolutely majestic. But honestly, just look at its face. It's really hard to take it seriously as something scary. Why does it have this inexplicable cuteness? Is this what they call a cute tiger? I once heard a wild piece of folklore explaining why it was carved like this. They say it's because the craftsmen back then had never actually seen a real tiger. So they based it on the image of a panda and ended up carving this tiger. Wow, talk about drawing a tiger by looking at a cat. However, the guardian deities further ahead are much more serious and solemn. Above the shrine, there are 9 guardian deity statues lined up, each clad in armor, radiating power and might. This group of guardian deities has appeared multiple times if I remember correctly. In the game, Dream Black Myth, Wukong. They truly look the part, don't they? Generally speaking, the lineup of Buddhist guardians is fairly fixed in our country. Most of the time, it consists of familiar figures, like the 2 generals, Hum and Hong, or the 4 heavenly kings. But at the entrance to the Dazu Rock Carvings, there stand no fewer than 9 guardian deities. The security effect is top. Then why are there so many people in the protection team this time? Because the man in the lead, he is not ordinary. Everyone pay attention to the one in the middle of these 9 statues. He is no ordinary protector. He is the incarnation of Shakyamuni Buddha. Good guy, the big leader came out personally to be the security guard. You see somebody else, this corporate culture, more hardcore.
Are you awake?
At the left and right ends of the 9 protectors, there are also 3 statues of animal heads, known as the Great God of 6. It is the meaning of the mana, reaching the 6 worlds. And the most interesting part of this shrine, also in one of the 6-way gods, above this booklet with both hands unfolded, if you look closely, can be clearly seen. This booklet is inscribed with an inscription on it. What is this inscription used? It is used to warn visitors to Dazu Rock Carvings. That is right. That is the instructions written down by the ancients to enter the park. The book clearly states, an inch of land, a jungle tree, a money and miscellaneous birds. No violation of the heart. In modern words, the stone carving is my home. Civilization depends on everyone. I propose one first. The hypothesis that designers are tourism traversants, okay?
Are you awake?
Of course not. Such. Outside the rules, of course, there are no penalties. You look like now, if we go to the park, a little uncivilized behavior. That is a fine if you're dead, right? But in the Dazu stone carvings, then there is no such good thing. The booklet is clearly warned. Anyone who does not abide by the rules of this place will go straight into a nose hell. Forever shall not be overborne. Good guy, Southern Song version of the internet judge. Belong is the whole start of a hell. So when everyone visits, do not pay attention. To touch. After several deities continue to move forward, before the eyes of the spectacle, a huge hungry ghost holding a disc, carving a Buddha statue in the center of the disc. Shoot out 6 Buddha lights. Divide the space in the disc into 6. Here, I propose one first. The designer sells pizza. Okay. This does seem a bit unlikely.
Are you awake?
The turntable is nested and engraved with various colored portraits. The whole work is complex, gorgeous, and oppressive. This is the most famous stone carving in Belding Mountain. Also one of the most shocking works. 6-way cycle diagram. That is such a cool picture. What is the content depicted? I have to talk about this carefully. Listen to the name, also know what is shown here is the famous theory of Buddhism 6-way cycle. The theme it expresses, it is the karma we're all familiar. Reincarnation. This big ghost on the outermost side is called the ghost of impermanence. That is the figurative embodiment of the so-called impermanence of its face is ferocious and ferocious. Hold on to the roulette wheel on behalf of the reincarnation should not be changed. The roulette wheel in the hands of the impermanent ghost is divided into 4 circles. In the middle of the circle, carved the yogi. From its heart, it sends out the Buddha's light. It means that all causes and effects are born from the heart. What kind of heart will get what kind of fruit? Buddha statues are carved in the light of Buddha. On behalf of all living beings have Buddha nature. All can become Buddhas. Sculpting pigs, snakes, and doves around the yogi. On behalf of the 3 poisons of Buddhism, greed, anger, and delusion. They symbolize the roots of all beings suffering from reincarnation. Hey, I went to the original dove. It's such a bad thing. Then I'd better try to have more videos in the future. The second outward circle of the yogi is the so-called 6 ways. IT symbolizes the good and evil deeds of all living beings in previous lives. The 6 worlds. If it is a person who does more good deeds and practices more at ordinary times, then the afterlife can go directly above. Heaven enjoys a fairy-like life. Or maybe you get reborn back into the human realm, live another life as a human being. Not too shabby. Right. Up in the top left corner, the Ashura realm has supernatural powers, but they lack virtue, full of conflict and These fighting. 3 together are called the 3 virtuous paths. All pretty good destinations. But if you did a lot of bad stuff in your past life, committed all sorts of evils, well, sorry. What is waiting for you are the 3 lower realms on the wheel. At this point, your best bet is to aim for the animal realm in the bottom left. Look at the drawing. It is like the animal kingdom. So, you'll be reborn as pigs, dogs, cattle, sheep, all those kinds of animals. Suffering slaughter and killing each other. For evil people, being able to go to the animal realm and become a beast is actually pretty decent treatment. And those who are worse than animals, the cycle has arrangements for them too. In the hungry ghost realm at the bottom right, hungry ghosts everywhere. People who were insatiably greedy in life will suffer endless hunger here. And the very bottom, the hell realm. Well, no need to say much. The most terrifying of the 6 realms. Every punishment and torture you can imagine or even can't, all available here. And even scarier, 1 day and night in the hell realm equals hundreds of millions of years in the human world. Every evil person who committed countless wrongs will endure eternal torture and suffering here. So you see, in this one life we live, never do anything that harms heaven and reason. That little box might not be your forever home, but if you become a bad person, this little compartment really will be your forever home. Moving further out, the 3rd layer visually represents the 12 links of dependent origination, showing how beings in the 6 realms go through the cycle of birth and death, including ignorance, mental formations, consciousness, name and form, etc., and all kinds of sufferings, like birth, aging, sickness, death. The outermost 4th circle, IT depicts many canned objects at both ends of the coil, sculpting the head and tail of 2 different animals. At first glance, as if what a magic scene, even a little offset. But actually, this is the straightforward display in the image, the process of reincarnation. In short, the whole work is to express all living beings operate in the cycle of reincarnation, to bear all kinds of pain, never end. Even if it is free as the gods, in the end, it is inevitable to be limited by the laws of reincarnation. So who is it? It is driving this never-ending cycle of misery. We look at the left side of the roulette wheel, a man carved with the appearance of 2 officials, the so-called corrupt officials. It represents the greed in human nature. And on the right side of the roulette wheel is a beautiful woman and a monkey. The monkey looked straight at the beautiful woman while putting his hand on his own. The ancients were also unexpectedly straightforward sometimes. These 2 sides add up. It is the so-called greedy heart in Buddhism. It is they that make the disc of reincarnation turn more and more. So this 6-way cycle is to use rich content and secular expression, the Buddhist worldview of reincarnation, and only to abandon the heart of greed can jump out of the idea of reincarnation. Vivid expression came out. It is an absolute boutique among the Dazu stone carvings. Next to the 6-way cycle map is the map of the vast treasure pavilion. The niche is high 8 m. 3 meters wide, 25 meters deep. According to the Tang Dynasty, not empty Zen master, translated from the secret Dharani Sutra of the Great Treasure Pavilion, carved.
Do you know how heartache I felt when I started?
No. It is not that it is not empty. Zen Master Wukong is one of the Buddhist tantric patriarchs. During the reign of Tang Kaiyuan, the Lion Countryman, he was one of the key figures in the spread of Tantra to China. According to this vast treasure pavilion, it is recorded in the scriptures that are too long to remember. Legend has it, there was a treasure mountain where 3 immortals named Treasure, Top Knot, Golden Top Knot, and Diamond Top Knot resided. Because the 3 were devout followers of Buddhist teachings, after their deaths, 3 bamboo shoots grew where their bones were buried. 10 months later, each bamboo produced a child within. sitting cross-legged beneath the bamboo. The 3 bamboos transformed into 3 vast treasure pavilions, each said to be capable of subduing demons and calming the mind, turning mountains of blades into treasure mountains, transforming weapons into lotuses, an indestructible diamond realm. And this stone carving depicts exactly that scene. Moving forward, we see the Huayan Triad statues, carved into a rock face measuring 145 meters wide and 82 meters high. The main statue, Vairocana Buddha, stands about meters tall, flanked by Samantabhadra Bodhisattva and Manjusri Bodhisattva. This combination is known as the Huayan Triad. The 3 statues are grand and majestic. Viewing them up close is truly awe-inspiring. Also, among the iconic works of the Dazu Rock Carvings. To achieve such a 震撼 eye-ing visual impact, IT relies on superb technical support behind the scenes. The Huayan Triad statues are considered masterpieces within the Dazu Rock Carvings, exemplifying the application of mechanical and perspective principles. Among them, the most representative, the most astonishing, undoubtedly, is this statue of Manjusri holding a 7-story pagoda. Just this pagoda in his hand stands a full 185 meters tall, taller than me, weighing nearly 1,000 jing. The arm supporting the pagoda extends 悬空by 1到2 meters. No wonder they say a bodhisattva is a bodhisattva. If not for great supernatural power holding it up, who could hold such a thing for centuries without the arm getting sore or the legs going numb? Well, of course, seriously speaking, achieving this effect was the result of artisans applying architectural mechanics. They cleverly used the bodhisattva's wide sleeves, shawl, and robes, connecting them to the statue's body, thus dispersing the pagoda's weight and transferring it to the main statue. Hey, does this operation feel familiar? Yep, it's the bracket sets we all know. In wooden structures, their role is right here. The sleeves function is pretty similar. Also utilized in the Huayan Triad statues is the perspective technique. To further enhance the majestic, grand feeling, the designer intentionally enlarged the heads of the 3 statues, shortened the chests, lengthened the lower leg parts, then made the entire statue lean forward 25 degrees. Oh, this move! This is Southern Song, MJ. After this series of fine adjustments, the statue's form better matches the perspective with the viewers. When looking up from below, it really gives a sense that the Bodhisattva is also leaning down to see all living beings. But considering drones are super popular lately, if you look at these 3 statues from a straight-on angle, with the design features mentioned above, doesn't it feel a bit cartoonish? Seems like high-tech doesn't always bring good results. On the stone wall behind the triad statues are carved 81 small Buddha niches. While enriching the scene, they further highlight the 3 main statues as taller and more awe-inspiring. Combined with the artisans' exquisite facial carving skills, a sense of infinite compassion and divine mercy for all beings naturally arises. Limited by time, that's all for this guy's content. Therese, no helping it. The amazing stuff at Dazu Rock Carvings is just too much. One episode really can't cover it all. So this time, it's split into 2 parts. In the next episode, all sorts of works featured in Black Myth will be 集中扎堆亮相. Stay tuned.